of the bad things about this gap trader is look at the reward to risk ratio. You've got a stop loss basically set at, on this particular currency, looks like about 15 pips, whereas you've got the reward or take profit about 12 pips. So the ratios are out of whack. Again, we'll look at that Australian dollar JPY. Let me find that one. The odd JPY. We'll do a new chart. File. New to the risk reward. It's screwed up. Again, the stop loss is set at approximately 12 pips. Take profit about 10 pips. So again, the risk reward is definitely out of kilter. We'll look at one more they've got a gap trade on right now. The New Zealand Japanese yen. Again, this New Zealand Japanese yen, they're doing a buy on that. And again, the reward 38 pips. Stop loss 51 pips. Totally out of whack. Totally out of whack. I'm immediately moving the stop loss up. I've not done that before, but I've been getting hammered big time. I mean, this time of the year, it just doesn't pay to do these trades because this weekend gap trader is working like crap. I've lost more money in the last 4 weeks than I've made in the whole year I've had this weekend gap trader going. So there's a time this weekend gap trader works, and I think there's a time it doesn't. And I think this has outlived its time. After all, just things that work in Forex at one time don't work in another time. Maybe it's this time of the year, I'm not sure. I've got 6 open trades right now. I'm up about $12, whoopee ding. You know, I've lost several hundred, well, $800 or $700 last weekend. So I put my lots, most of them micro lots, 1/10 of a lot, two or 1/100th of a lot, 2/100ths of a lot. I've moved them way down to almost nothing. For some reason, I've got the Euro USD at 0.34 lots and the odd JPY at 0.26 lots. So somehow those settings didn't take hold or something. There is one more. Look at we look at the New Zealand CAD. Did we look at the New Zealand CAD? Or we look at the another one just opened now, the Euro New Zealand. Again, that's only 2/10 of a pip, so that's fine, or two micro lots. Euro New Zealand just opened up. Let's just see what we got. None of the, here's a trade going here. Again, you open this up, same thing. Let's look at this. The stop loss 84 pips, which is ridiculous. Take profit about 60 pips. So again, the ratios are way off. It just doesn't work. Doesn't work for me. I'm just going to kind of put this here just so I know about where my stop was, because I have been moving some of my stops to more reasonable levels. You're not supposed to be playing or tinkering with these EAs, but I found if I don't move the stops, I've watched where I've moved them to, and I still get stopped out, and had I not moved them, I would have been stopped out for a much larger amount. So normally moving my stops to a little lower level to save me money has worked out well, but basically the program doesn't work regardless. So anyway, I'll monitor this closely. I'm up a little bit today, not very much, but I am up a little bit. But I say again, I've lost a lot of money in the last few weeks on this weekend gap trader. I would certainly not recommend it. It's not very expensive, but it's all relative. If it's expensive, if it makes you money, that's great. If it's not expensive, it loses you money, it's not a good deal. So don't fall for a weekend gap trader. I think it's a terrible investment. And the support is not very good. They try and sell you extra classes how to trade the weekend gap. Here you're paying for the weekend gap. It should be included. They should be more than happy to show people how to use the weekend gap successfully, if there's such a thing, which I don't think there really is now after I've used it for about a year. If they show you how to use it successfully, people will tell their friends. There'll be more people signing up for it. But when they try and make you pay for what should be included in the weekend gap as a purchaser, it's ridiculous. It's just greed. So I definitely say weekend gap. Absolutely, don't waste your money on it. It's not worth it. Not worth the time. Not worth it at all. Thanks.